Another week where the main event ended due to some kind of injury. This was much more of a freakish injury than the Brian Ortega one. With the Ortega, as we talked about before, it was caused by the armbar. This, Curtis Blaydes had nothing to do with it unless the guy is really made out of steel. I mean, they call him Blaydes. Blaydes are made out of steel, so because Tom Aspinall kicked Curtis Blaydes in the leg, not even checked. He retracted it, stepped on it, and his knee gave out. So there's a few things that could have happened here. Curtis Blaydes is really made out of steel. Tom Aspinall needs to drink more milk. Aspinall came in there with an injury. Perhaps he was aware of it or not. Or the injury just freakishly happened in the middle of the fight and there was no pre-existing injury at all. But regardless, Curtis Blaydes didn't really have much to do with this. It wasn't like the Yair situation. This was a bit different. And I hope Tom Aspinall has a speedy recovery because the fight actually looked like it was going to be pretty crazy. I mean, they were both throwing at each other right from the beginning. But I cannot overlook this. Aspinall was striking with Blaydes pretty recklessly, and it seemed like Blaydes was getting the precision down. He almost caught Tom Aspinall a few times clean. If those punches would have landed when Aspinall's throwing a flying knee out of nowhere and lunging in there with punches, keeping his head up really high, as we all know, Aspinall keeps his chin up to the sky, and in the heavyweight division, one touch and the guy can get dropped. Or especially every time Tom Aspinall threw naked leg kicks. He never masked up his leg kicks. He never feinted, nothing. Just threw him naked from a distance, and then at some point, those have to be addressed in MMA. We've seen too many knockouts happen because fighters are throwing naked leg kicks. He was almost another example of it. Curtis Blaydes just missed the punches. If he had better precision, this fight could have been over right away. Now, of course, we cannot judge the entire fight of how it would have went down on just a few seconds. But the fight looked like it could have ended in a few seconds if Blaydes just moved his hand a little bit to the left. This fight would have probably been over. And it's more of a question to Tom Aspinall's striking defense. And also fight IQ. Why was he coming out there so reckless against the most dangerous opponent that's ever been in front of him? Curtis Blaydes hits very hard, and his striking technique has been getting better fight after fight, beating guys that theoretically should be beating him on the feet. And the guy didn't even wrestle yet. The guy didn't even shoot a takedown. For the few seconds the fight was going on, it looked pretty scary for Tom Aspinall, to be honest. Doesn't mean that he would have lost the fight, doesn't mean he would have won the fight if, the injury didn't happen. But looking at just the technical analysis of this, in the beginning of it, it did not look good for Aspinall. And if he would have carried on with that reckless approach, he would have eventually gotten caught. Now, I did predict that Curtis Blaydes would have won the fight, but I thought more so, yeah, he could have caught Aspinall with his chin up high, but also with the takedown and ground and pound going further into the rounds, which he has more experience in, there was more opportunity, a higher chance for Blaydes to win this. And I believe this similar thing could happen in the rematch if Aspinall does not address those striking defensive mistakes that he made here. Because even though it was a really quick fight, there were things for Aspinall to look at and to fix up. As for Blaydes, he didn't really make any mistakes other than missing his punches. That's really it. He just missed his punches. He had good footwork. He had good positioning for his punches. He had good extension in his punches, like the form of them alone was nice. And really good timing. Just the accuracy was off. That was it. Now, I'm making it seem like they're going to rematch each other, but if it is a torn ACL, Aspinall's going to be out for a while. And that most likely means no rematch. Curtis Blaydes is going to have to fight someone else, because we do know that John Jones is going to be fighting Stipe. Most likely the winner of that is going to fight for the belt, unless that is for the undisputed belt. There is a scenario that Francis Ngannou leaves the organization, fights in boxing, they make the Stipe and Jones fight for the vacant belt, and the winner of that fights Curtis Blaydes. That would make the most sense. Or they could potentially do Curtis Blaydes versus the winner of Ciryl Gane and Tai Tuivasa. But I like Curtis Blaydes to get a title shot. He's been doing very well. He's been looking very dominant. Ciryl Gane just fought for the belt. If Tuivasa somehow beats Gane, we don't even know what happens here. Maybe he fights Blaydes for the #1 contender. As we know that Jones and Stipe usually don't fight that often, so they can line that up in the meantime. But if Gane beats Tuivasa, maybe they can still put Blaydes versus Gane. I think it's a very bad matchup for Ciryl Gane, but Blaydes will be pushing for a title shot. And honestly, they both make a lot of sense. I love to see either of them. I like to see Curtis Blaydes versus Jones. I like to see Curtis Blaydes versus Stipe. I'm not so much up for Ciryl Gane versus Curtis Blaydes, given the fact that it's probably not going to be as competitive. I think Blaydes' wrestling is just so strong. And look at how Ngannou was taking down Ciryl Gane. I mean, it's a clear difference in the wrestling between the two guys. Blaydes is the most successful takedown artist in heavyweight history. And he's in his prime right now. He's better at his wrestling than he's ever been before. I don't think Gane can cover that gap in such a short amount of time. The best fight out of all of these, in my opinion, is Blaydes versus Stipe. That is an excellent fight. But Jones versus Curtis Blaydes would be great as well. It's unfortunate for Aspinall. He is on a bit of a run here, and with the injury, he's probably not going to be back for a while. Leave in the comments below, who do you guys want to see Blaydes fight next? And I'll see you guys in the next video.